Pennsylvania, a land of rugged beauty. Its landscapes are a testament to the raw and untamed nature of the region. The terrain is a mix of rolling hills and deep valleys, each telling a story of time and endurance. Rolling hills give way to dense forests. These forests, thick and ancient, hold secrets that have been buried for decades. The canopy is so dense that sunlight barely penetrates, creating an almost perpetual twilight. But darkness lingers in these woods. Hidden deep within them lies Willow Creek Sanitarium, a place shrouded in mystery and sorrow, where the trees seem to whisper the tales of those who once walked its halls, a monument to forgotten suffering. The drive was long, the road barely there. Over the years, nature has reclaimed much of the path, making the journey to Willow Creek an arduous one. The overgrown vegetation seems to guard the secrets of the past, as if trying to keep intruders at bay. Overgrown and neglected, a fitting path to a place lost to time. The road, once bustling with activity, now lies in ruins, a mere shadow of its former self. Every step taken on this path feels like a step back in time, to an era long forgotten. As I rounded the final bend, it came into view. An imposing structure of crumbling stone. The walls, once strong and sturdy, now show the wear and tear of decades of neglect. Each crack and crevice tells a story of the passage of time. Windows, like vacant eyes, stared back at me. A shiver ran down my spine. These windows, once filled with the light of life, now stand empty and hollow, reflecting the emptiness within. This place had a presence, a palpable aura of sorrow and decay. The walls seemed to whisper the stories of those who had lived and suffered here. The air was thick with the weight of forgotten memories. The air grew heavy as I stepped out of the car. The silence was absolute. It was as if the very air was holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. The weight of the past pressed down on me, making each step feel like a journey through time, broken only by the rustling of leaves. It was the kind of silence that pressed in on you. The leaves, moved by an unseen force, seemed to whisper secrets of the past. Every rustle felt like a voice from another time, trying to reach out and be heard. Suffocating. I could almost hear the echoes of the past, the whispers of tormented souls. The halls, once filled with the sounds of life, now echoed with the faint whispers of those long gone. Each step I took seemed to stir the memories of the past, bringing them to life once more. Willow Creek had a story to tell, and I was here to listen. The walls, the floors, the very air seemed to hold the stories of those who had lived, suffered, and died here. I was determined to uncover the secrets of Willow Creek, to listen to the stories that had been buried for so long. My name is Josh Gates, and I'm drawn to the unknown. Places shrouded in mystery and legend. Abandoned ruins hold a particular fascination for me. They offer a glimpse into the past, a chance to piece together forgotten stories. Willow Creek Sanitarium had been calling to me for months, an abandoned asylum with a dark history. It was the kind of place that whispered promises of the unexplained, of secrets waiting to be unearthed. I'd heard the stories. Local legends spoke of patients driven mad, of cruel experiments and unexplained phenomena, whispers of something sinister lurking within the walls. I'd spent weeks researching, scouring old newspaper articles and medical journals. The more I learned, the more intrigued I became. Willow Creek wasn't just a collection of crumbling walls. It was a vault of human suffering, and I was determined to unlock its secrets, no matter the cost. Willow Creek Sanitarium opened its doors in 1899. It was a grand structure, built with the hope of providing a sanctuary for those suffering from mental illness. The architecture was imposing yet beautiful, a symbol of the era's optimism in the face of mental health challenges. A beacon of hope for the mentally ill. Families from all over the country sent their loved ones here, believing that Willow Creek would offer the best care available. The sanitarium promised innovative treatments and a compassionate approach, but that hope soon turned to despair. The treatments were barbaric. What was once seen as a place of healing quickly became a house of horrors. Patients were subjected to inhumane conditions and cruel practices, more torture than therapy. Patients were subjected to ice baths, electroshock therapy, and experimental drugs. These so-called treatments left many worse off than when they arrived, their minds and bodies broken by the brutal methods, driven to the brink of madness. Local legend claimed the asylum was haunted. Whispers of ghostly apparitions and unexplained phenomena began to circulate among the townsfolk and the patients alike, by the tormented souls who died within its walls. Patients reported hearing voices. These voices were said to be the cries of those who had suffered and perished within the sanitarium's confines, their spirits unable to find peace. Seeing shadowy figures in the dead of night. The staff dismissed it as hysteria. They believed the patients' claims were merely symptoms of their mental illnesses, not realizing, or perhaps not wanting to admit, that something more sinister might be at play. But the rumors persisted, growing darker with each passing year. Stories of strange occurrences and eerie sightings became more frequent, adding to the sanitarium's already grim reputation. One name was whispered more than any other: Elias Thorne. Dr. Thorne was a figure shrouded in mystery and fear, his name synonymous with the darkest chapters of Willow Creek's history. A doctor who worked at Willow Creek in the 1940s. He was said to have been obsessed with unlocking the secrets of the human mind. His methods were unorthodox, to say the least, and many questioned his ethics and sanity, conducting unethical experiments on his patients. Some say he went mad himself. His experiments were rumored to be so extreme that they bordered on the macabre, pushing the boundaries of what was considered acceptable in the name of science. That his spirit still lingers within the asylum walls, seeking to continue his twisted work. Even after his death, the legend of Dr. Thorne lives on, with many believing that his ghost roams the halls, searching for new victims to subject to his cruel experiments. The whispers of madness that once filled the sanitarium have never truly been silenced, echoing through the empty corridors and reminding all who hear them of the dark history that still haunts Willow Creek. The front doors groaned open, their rusted hinges protesting against the intrusion. It was as if the building itself was reluctant to let anyone in, as if it had secrets it wanted to keep buried, as if hesitant to reveal the horrors within. The light that filtered through the dusty windows was weak, casting long shadows that seemed to dance and shift with every step I took. The air inside was thick with dust and decay. Each breath felt like inhaling the past, a past that was heavy with neglect and abandonment. Cobwebs hung like ghostly curtains, swaying gently in the stale air. The smell of mildew and something faintly metallic. It was a scent that spoke of long-forgotten memories, of pain and suffering that had seeped into the very walls. It hit me like a physical blow. My stomach churned, and I had to fight the urge to turn back. But something compelled me to keep moving forward. The weight of the suffering that had unfolded here. It was palpable, almost as if the walls themselves were whispering tales of the past, of the countless souls who had walked these halls. I made my way down the main corridor. The paint on the walls was peeling, revealing layers of history beneath. Each step I took felt like a journey deeper into the heart of the building's dark past, each footstep echoing in the oppressive silence. It was a silence that seemed to amplify every sound, making the creak of the floorboards and the rustle of my clothes seem deafening. The walls were lined with patient rooms. Each door, some hanging off their hinges, seemed to guard the secrets of the lives that had once occupied them, each one a window into a shattered life, beds stripped bare. The emptiness of the rooms was haunting, a stark reminder of the lives that had been left behind. Restraints hanging limply from the walls. They were a chilling reminder of the methods once used, of the desperation and fear that had permeated this place. It was like stepping into a nightmare, the kind that you can't wake up from, where every corner holds a new terror, and the air is thick with a sense of impending doom. I found myself drawn to a room at the end of the hall. There was something about it, a pull that I couldn't resist, as if it held the answers to the questions that had been forming in my mind. It was colder than the others. My breath formed visible puffs in the air, and a shiver ran down my spine. The temperature drop was sudden and unnerving, the air heavy with a sense of dread. It was as if the room itself was alive, watching, waiting. The walls seemed to close in, and the weight of the past pressed down on me. On the floor, I found a file. It was covered in dust, but the name on it was still legible. The name scrawled across it sent chills down my spine. Elias Thorne. This was his office. The name was familiar, a figure shrouded in mystery and darkness, and it seemed he'd left something behind. Personal effects, remnants of a life once lived, now abandoned and forgotten. A dark legacy that refused to die. It lingered in the air, in the very fabric of the building, a testament to the horrors that had taken place within these walls.